Hey guys, and welcome back to some magical story time. But the category I'm returning to is stories from my life for the third installment of those. So which story from my life am I going to share with you today? Well, this one actually dates back to 1993, summer 1993 to be exact, when I was only 5 years old. And I'm going to call it My Grandma, My Saviour. You'll know why. See, in summer 1993, my family would often take us to a beach in Sussex called West Wittering. And on this particular summer's day, I was playing in the sea like any kid would, and I disappeared under the waves. There's one thing that West Wittering was known for, and that was the holes in its ocean bed. Now, my grandmother jumped down after me and pulled me out. And since then, not only have I been eternally grateful to her for this, Grandma, thank you, but I've also been scared to go near any body of water because of remembering the childhood trauma of falling under the waves at the West Wittering beach. Now, what I've just told you guys is a true story from my childhood. And the absolute true story. I didn't exaggerate any of it. Although my grandmother was a very saintly lady. Now, and I realise this would be too short if I only counted one story. So, I'm going to do a few stories. The next story from my childhood actually jumps forward 5 years to summer 1998, when my family was on a family holiday at the Pentawyn Sands Holiday Resort in Cornwall. Now, we were in the swimming pool area on this particular day, and I slipped and sprained my ankle in a gutter. Ouch. And what my cousin would do is he would put me on his shoulders and carry me off to the arcades to have fun in the evenings while I was injured. He did this basically every night while we were there. So despite having just one accident that left me injured for the whole week that I was there, I still had fun on the holiday. Well, when I say the whole week, it happened on the third day of that holiday, so yeah. And I remember it only being a week long. It might have been longer. So, obviously, I should have said what I was going to call that story. I'll call it right here and right now. I'll call it Sprained Ankle Amusements. Now, I'm going to do another story. The third one here that I'm going to share with you is another holiday story, actually, now that I come to think of it. But one that happened more recently than any of those. In fact, 13 years ago in September 2010, when my mum's late partner was still alive, he, my mum, and my brother, older brother, and some friends of ours at the time went on a holiday to the Norfolk Broads. And that was a fun trip, a canal boat trip. And along the way, we stop at places such as Norwich and Great Yarmouth. And it was a holiday I would never forget. And I would never forget this holiday either, because it was the last one I ever went on. So, to this day, that is. Now, I wish I could turn these into fantasy stories, but I'm just here to share experiences with you guys. So there's nothing fanciful or fantasy to actually turn them into. But if you want me to turn one of these into a fantasy again, I'll take you back to my childhood for the final story, as I tell you the story of the Saintly Headmaster. And this takes me back to my primary school days. So I was attending Riverside School at the time in Purbrook, and it was run by this very nice man called Mr. Jones. And he was the most easygoing and patient man you could ever hope to meet. And you could do very little to upset him. Well, the story here is when we were getting ready to go on a summer camping trip to Chichester. So this was towards the end of my time as a Year 6 pupil. For those of you in America, you'll call that the 5th grade, age 10 to 11. So my Year 6, my primary school years were coming to an end. And this camping trip to Chichester was just being planned and talked about. And at this meeting, I raised my hand and asked if I'd had to go near a swimming pool because I'd had grommets in my ears and the doctor had forbidden me to go near water. And of course, Mr. Jones, the headmaster, said it was a sensible question, and no, I wouldn't. And now, I actually say he's a saintly headmaster because every time, and I mean this then, every time you actually spoke to him or were around him, he was very nice and easy to talk to. Now this comes into the Mrs. Richards story again, the yoga teacher, and now I'm going to exaggerate this for entertainment purposes only. But of the Riverside school teachers and main staff in general, we now pit good versus evil, or angel versus devil. Mrs. Richards being the devil, and Mr. Jones being the angel. And because every time she would have a go, and he heard about it, he would sympathise with you, the pupil. So, he was God compared to most headmasters. So yeah, there you go. True. And God versus Satan. Sorry to bring the religious subtext in here, but that's truly what it felt like. Because Mr. Jones was actually understanding about why I couldn't attend my last outdoor centre trip in its full after hitting my head on a lamppost. You know why? He was there when it happened. He actually saw my head collide with the lamppost. So, why would he have been furious? Yeah, my life is full of so many events and interesting people who have such character, aren't they? Isn't it? But that's it from Stories from My Life for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. There will be another episode of this segment soon. But until then, thanks for watching, and have us a magical time.